Hi traders, today we're gonna see a scalping strategy based on 10 minutes time frame. This strategy is built on moving average, but it will generate entry signals in an unconventional way, not a typical price cross moving average. I suggest you to stick till the end to fully understand and master this strategy, especially when we will test it with different parameters and discuss the backtest results. So, let's dive into it. I created this indicator that is based on a moving average. As you can see here, we have this section that is dedicated to the entry signals. This is the typical moving average settings, really simple, types of moving average, source, and here the length. At the first glance, it seems that price cross and then you enter in a position, but in reality it doesn't. In order to generate a valid long entry signal, these are the rules that must be respected. There must be X bars below the moving average. So we came to a downtrend in this case because we have X bars below the moving average, then a green candle close above the moving average like this one, and then the high of the second candle must break the high of the previous candle. Looking at another example, as you can see here, we came to a downtrend. Here we have a number of candles below the moving average that we can set. We have set a 10, so in this case, here there are at least 10 candles below the moving average. In this case, for example, the high goes above the moving average, but the close was below the moving average, so it wasn't an entry signal. We have a green candle here, close above, second high is greater than this previous high, and then is a valid long entry. So why we need this kind of confirmation? Because the logic behind this strategy is that we came to a strong downtrend, and then after X candle below the moving average, we assume that the sellers are almost exhausted. When the price will come back to the moving average, we will have a second confirmation. So it's not enough that the high goes above, but we need to close above. So this is the second confirmation. And then we have a third confirmation, the second candle high. So we need more confirmation in order to open a trade. Looking at the short position, number of candle 10, so we need to have at least 10 candle above the moving average, and as you can see here we have 10 bars. Then we need the candle to close below the moving average, and then the low of the second candle must be lower than the low of the previous candle. As you can see, pretty simple rules, and I really love it. Now that we understand all the rule and the overall strategy, we are ready to jump into backtest. Opening our indicator settings, initial capital $10,000, 100% of equity, 0.06% commission. We are going long, 10 number of candles below the exponential moving average, source close and length 10, trading stop percentage of 4% and take profit of 11%. Let's see some backtest results. Unfortunately, we have a really few trades. This is due to the fact that we are on shorter time frame. In fact, usually time frame lesser than 30 minutes produces really few trades. And other than that, we are filtering our entry signal. In fact, we have set here 10 candles below the moving average. Anyway, considering that we have a few trades, we will proceed with a deep backtesting. Let's see the results. As you can see, we have 200 net profit, 129 trades, 42% percentage profitable, 1.7 profit factor, and 26% max drawdown, 0.96 average trade. The equity line, even though it's profitable, it's not awful, but it's not really good, because as you can see, basically from here to here about, it's almost always downside. Not loss, but not even profit, so it basically stuck in this kind of situation. What could we do to fix this kind of equity? First of all, considering that we have backtesting a longer period of time, about 2 years, we should try to increase the number of trades. Even though 129 trades are statistically significant, we should try to increase the total number of trades. For doing that, we have to decrease this value, so that now, in order to open a long position, there must be only 5 candles below the moving average and not 10 anymore. Let's see the backtest results. Alright, so as you can see now we have more trades, but unfortunately the net profit is decreased and the max drawdown is increased. Obviously this isn't an improvement, and I will reject this kind of settings. I try to experiment and change some parameter. I found a really interesting thing. I try to change the moving average source, basically from close to low. Let me quickly show you what happened inside the chart. As you can see now, close. If I change to low, now we have a moving average that is lower than before. Of course, because now it's calculated based on lows. And so I try to decrease the number of candle and changing the MA source and MA source to low. And as you can see now, the equity is absolutely spectacular. Look at this. This is really wonderful. 454% net profit, 184 total trades, 47% profitable, 1.9 profit factor, 24% max drawdown, and 1.5 average trade. I really love this equity shape because, as you can see, it always go up. Let's see some other statistics. Buy and hold return 90%, so we have far surpassed this value by the net profit. Average winning trade 4.88%, average losing trade 2.41%, so ratio average win average loss 2.1%, which is really amazing. Largest winning trade 10%, largest losing trade 4.12%. So to be honest, overall, this is a really good equity line and I really appreciate it. The only downside that I don't like so much is that even though the equity line is really good and the net profit is really good, this is a scalping strategy. So usually it is supposed to produce more trade than almost 200. But anyway, it gives us a good backtesting result. So it could be interesting to deep research in this kind of settings and this kind of strategy. That's all for this video. Please let me know in the comment section if you ever tried to change the MA source and what are the results that you found. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel to don't miss other video strategy, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye guys!